Get to know your motorcycle, live to ride another day. What's going on YouTube? FXDLS Brooklyn is back in the building, and as we are blasting through some pretty technical riding out here on the Blue Ridge Parkway, you know, I was just kind of thinking lately about this statistic that a couple other motovloggers have been talking about, which is the amount of motorcycle incidents that are reported that are due to rider error, right? That are reported to have no other vehicle involved. And you know, it gets said a lot, and this is also coming from somebody that's been in a nearly fatal motorcycle accident due to somebody else's negligence, a situation where there is literally nothing I could have done. But there's always this connotation out there when non-riders talk to riders where it's like, oh man, just the people out there on the road are so crazy, everyone's out there to kill you. But it's funny because when you look at the statistics, there are an alarming amount of incidents that are reported that are, again, single vehicle incidents, meaning it is due to rider error in some way, shape, or form. And as I was navigating some incredibly technical roads out here that are completely unforgiving, you know, if you make an error on one of these curves, you're done. You know, you are going and dropping off of a cliff. There's no guardrails on any of this stuff. It's totally unforgiving. And that's why I was kind of just thinking, because again, I do try to make videos every now and then for the newer rider base out there. You know, I'm at the point where I've been doing this long enough where I have even seasoned riders who come up to me and tell me that my videos help them get started, my videos encourage them to get moving on their bikes, you know, encourage them to get their first bikes, etc. So I still try to make content here and there for potential new riders or new riders themselves, and this one is again on how important it is to just really know your motorcycle. So what that means is every switchback that I hit, every hill that I climb on this bike, every sweeper that I hit, I know exactly what gear the bike should be in. I know exactly what speed I can push the bike to. I know exactly how the bike should feel. I know this motorcycle in pretty much every possible situation. I got almost 60,000 miles on this bike in every situation you could possibly imagine. So I'm not an expert rider. I'm not an MSF coach by any means. I am still very much, there are so many things that I can improve on. I am a lifelong student, as you should be too. You know, I don't approach this like I'm a know-it-all, like, you know, I got no areas to improve in. Trust me, I do. Everybody does. But what I'll say is when you are getting into more technical riding like this as a new rider, especially roads like this that are just, quite frankly, unforgiving, where the error is you not coming back, it's just so damn important for you to form the bond with your motorcycle and to really know your motorcycle and how far you can push it in every different scenario. So what that means is you're probably saying, well, okay, that's great. How do I attain this status, right? How do I get there? The first thing you do is you do not listen to idiots like me with a GoPro. You listen to certified professionals such as MSF coaches. So go and take your MSF course. Subscribe to YouTube content that is brought to you by MSF coaches, such as MC Rider is one that I really like. I also really like Dan the Fireman. Two great resources, right? So that's the first thing. That's just a good way for you to expose yourself to a lot of different scenarios, right? As well as actually taking the physical course, which is probably the best thing. And then the second thing is you just have to lay down the miles. You have to ride and ride often. And the best way to do that is to push yourself to do motorcycle trips. And that doesn't have to be the situation that you're finding me on right now, where I am on a multi-week, multi-thousand-mile motorcycle trip. That could literally you just being away for a night. But by you pushing yourself to do the bike trips, that's going to form the bond between you and your bike that is going to get you to know your bike and how far you could push it in all these different circumstances. It's going to get you to know how fast your bike can stop if you're in a pinch or an emergency situation, how far you can lean your bike, right? You know, what gear you want to be in, what RPM range you want to be in for a certain amount, for a given circumstance. You just gotta get to know your bike, and there's no simple way around it except you putting in the miles. You know, that's at the end of the day the only way to form what I like to call the soul link between you and your bike. You got to put in the miles as a new rider. And I'll make a separate video about this because I do think it's a separate topic, but I think the best way to do that is you, as a new rider, is not doing what I'm doing right now, which is riding with your friends, riding with other people. I think you need to do it on your own at your own pace. And again, that's a separate topic. I'll make a separate video about my thoughts because a new rider did write in asking me about that. But again, this type of riding is why we ride. You know, this is this is, you know, you're not going to see in the latest Harley Davidson or the latest whatever ad on TV someone ripping a new motorcycle around just like, you know, a suburban shopping mall or, you know, some boring highway. It's always this type of riding. It's always on some picturesque mountain or picturesque curve or something, because quite frankly, this is the funnest and most exhilarating riding to do. But you want to, again, make sure that you're being safe, that you're being responsible, that you're coming back again to get more the next day. And again, that means you just gotta know your bike, man. You gotta know your bike, and you gotta know the limits of your bike, especially as a new rider. So, I don't know. As I'm enjoying this is probably one of the top 5 favorite rides in the country. This is the Blue Ridge Parkway in the south. Thought it was an appropriate time to cover that topic for all of y'all out there who are cutting your teeth, regardless of what bike you're riding. But emphasis on how I close out every video, which is by saying to stay safe. Emphasis on staying safe for you, for your family, and for your friends. Stay low. Get to know your bike, and the best way to do that is by putting in the miles. And on that, FXDLS Brooklyn is out.